is online class is the best mode of learning? So, that is the topic me, Yaya and Shaza will convey today. So, firstly, what is online class? An online class is a course conducted over the internet. In traditional classroom, you often learn by listening, reading, writing, and doing other activities designed by your instructor and other your friends. But in online class, it's different. In fact, you probably will never meet your instructor or fellow student in person. Online class can be experienced by the learner in their own pace, but it can happen as synchronous or asynchronous. There are many popular applications that can be used to implement synchronized online learning class. Example like Webex, Google Meet, and others. For asynchronous learning can be carried out through WhatsApp, Telegram, and others platforms to give instructors more tasks to students.
There are several advantages regarding this online learning. The proponent of online learning agreed that online class can be seen as a convenience mode of learning since it allows dynamic interaction between students and teachers to happen over the internet. The rise usage of online platform provided the opportunities to students for development of online communities and groups such as emailing, working together via Google Drive, Google Meet, Webex, Zoom Meeting, and many more other online platforms. As St. Mary's University of Minnesota stated, online class provides more options of teaching method in online learning instead. For instance, they can convey students with multimedia slide presentation or recorded video of teaching in a way to fulfill and satisfy their understanding of the topic even though they are far apart. Furthermore, online classes teach students to manage study time wisely even though they had to comply with time constraints in dealing with assignment and being more productive.
Other than allow dynamic interaction, students can also customize their learning environment. You can be anywhere that you can comfortable and build your own study space to do your homework or revise your class materials. This situation can avoid any disturbance that can interfere in your lesson. With this environment, you can stand on your own without expecting any help from others. For instance, you might also design a room exclusively for your study. If you are an introvert person, you do not have to worry about your image. Other than that, you can also prevent stress from missed lesson due to unavoidable things because you can watch or catch up any lesson that you missed through the class recorded video anytime and anywhere. According to St. Mary's University of Minnesota, students can easily customize and personalize learning plan with today's technologies. By these materials, the percentage of improved students also rose by an average of 30%. Now, I will explain about one of the disadvantages of online class. High cost. This high cost will contribute to student limited accessibility to technology. This is one of the reasons that makes online class is not the best method of learning. During online class, new or sophisticated program and troubleshooting skill is needed for students. If students have problem with their laptop, it gave them no other choice. They had to service their laptop, which will cost a lot for students to pay. Other than that, to afford high-speed internet, they also need to pay an additional cost, which is not all students have the privilege to afford it. Because limited internet access, students are not be able to take their desired subject. Besides, not all the places can access through internet. Several places like Sabah and Sarawak often have limited internet access, especially in rural areas.
Next, the second disadvantage of online class that prove online class is not the best mode of learning is it gives students limited interaction between students and lecturers. Not only with lecturer, but students also found it hard to interact effectively with their friends. There is only minimal opportunity for them to interact face-to-face as they are in different places. Most of the interaction is through chat room or discussion, such as WhatsApp, Telegram, Google Meet or Webex, but no offline discussion. Thus, it's hard for them to develop relationship with classmates during the learning session. For example, especially for new students that have never met their classmates and don't have a chance to get to know with them, they will find it hard to do work together as a team. Besides, it also can trigger a misconception either between students and lecturers or with their friends, which it may affect the teaching, learning, and student task outcome. Therefore, in this case, it will lead students to lack of motivation to study, and they also will easily distracted because there are no one around them that can motivate them. Finally, the last disadvantage of online class is the effectiveness of assessment given also can give contribution to student life learning. It is one of the reasons why online class is not the best mode of learning. During online class, lecturers tend to give a lot of assignments and quiz to students as the course information has changed. For example, during COVID-19 pandemic, even though for some courses replaced the final examination with coursework, lecturers should give consideration by thinking that students also have another assignment from other courses that they took. Besides, their sleep cycle also will be affected as they will stay up to finish their assignment because during the day they will have a lot of classes. This is what I meant by the effectiveness of assessment given could affect students' life learning. Other than that, from our research, most educators agree that memory testing is not the best mode of measure learning, but it is difficult to apply classroom tools during the online class. Thus, assessment that given to students should be fairly divided for each courses to achieve the effectiveness of online class.
Online class is not the best mode of learning since it offers more negative impacts, especially to students. To summarize, the highly cost and lack of access in technology limiting the students' learning, which requires some work and spaces in accessing the internet. Although communication is the key, but the limitation of social interaction leads to detrimental effects on learning process. And by giving lots of assessment at one time, it may lead to students' performance and results. Thus, students must have a realistic expectation and be aware with the requirements to succeed in online class, especially during this pandemic, where we have no choice but to accept this new mode of learning to keep going the education.